What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Lakeside View here. So I just uploaded this video earlier, and then I found out that there wasn't any audio. So I'm gonna have to try and voice over something that's already been voiced over. So it's not live. I mean, it was, but it's not live anymore. But yeah, this is Savage Sunday, number 5. And as you guessed, pretty sure I go in the team builder really soon. And I start building a team. Uh, for the hyper offense. So just I don't know. This is gonna be weird. I've never tried to commentate something that I've already commentated on. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what happened. I mean, the plays aren't really that fresh in my head. I did record this like 3 hours ago. So yeah. But anyways, I went in the team builder and I decided to make a team based off Megaloplenty. So I'm pretty sure right about now, and I was like, hey, okay, yeah, I'm gonna pause. I'll be right back. And the team. So just gonna wait for that. Oh, okay, I remember now. Yeah, I was saying that I wanted to throw like Scarf Kieran Black on there with Megaloplenty and possibly Skex Keldeo, but as you'll see, I ended up not going with Specs Keldeo. Alright, yeah, so here's the team. Um, it's Megaloplenty. I'm running the Fake Out, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, Frustration set, and I'm running a Drain Punch over High Jump Kick for not only reliability, because everything in their mom runs Protect. So, I mean, other than that, it's pretty standard. I just went with Drain Punch for reliability. And it's Jolly, max attack, max speed. Ice Punch is obviously to catch, the Landorses and the Garchomps. One hit KO them, and then Frustration is for everything else that doesn't resist normal type damage. And then next we have Kieran Black, aka that big monster motherfucker who blows teams back. I don't know how much time I spent explaining this, but Kieran Black, run mixed naive, max attack, max speed, ice beams for stab coverage, and earth power was to catch heat trans and such. Outrage is obviously powerful as fuck, and fusion bolt for everything else that's like water and whatnot. And here we have Keldeo. It's a expert belt instead of life orb or specs because I already have life orb on scissor, so I didn't really feel the need to throw that on Keldeo. It's got Hydro Pump, Scald, Icy Wind, Secret Sword, coverage, and dual stab because Hydro Pump likes to miss, and obviously Scald superior. It's one of the top moves in the game. High reward, low risk. So obviously I'd run that. And I noticed that this team is kind of weak to Heatran, but it's not at the same time. A little predicting and things work out. But on this Pokemon, Scissor, Life Orb, Bullet Punch, Bug Bite, Swords Dance, Knockoff, Technician, obviously, Addy, max attack, max HP. Well, almost max HP. I got 8 in special defense. I don't know why. That's the spread that Showdown had, so I just was like, fuck it, I'll use that. And um, I went with Bug Bite over U-Turn because I don't really need momentum. I mean, I coulda. It would have helped, I guess. But this team is okay as far as momentum goes. It's got, some of the fastest Pokemon in the game on this team in their own weird speed tiers, including Superior. And speaking of Superior, I'm running the Assault Vest, but I'm only running 48 HP and then 204 Spatak and max speed. That should give it a little bit of survivability, but while keeping its attack pretty high. I haven't done any of the calcs, so I really don't know if that was a good spread. But I'm running the dual grass, the Leaf Storm, and the Giga Drain combo. So get the boost with Leaf Storm and then get the health back with Giga Drain, which is why I'm running a little bit of HP EVs. and I went with the assault vest. Like I said, more survivability, and then HP fire was obviously for Ferrothorn. And then we got probably the most dangerous Pokemon on my team if no one's prepared, Specs Sylveon. Running Hyper Voice, Hyper Beam, Side Shock, and HP Dark. Now, a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people are running HP Dark. I thought about it for a while, and I was like, well, the Pokemon that usually switch in the Sylveon are Steel types, and some of the predominant Steel types in the tier are Jirachi and Metagross. So, both of those Pokemon are actually still Psychic types. So, obviously, they're not going to enjoy that Hidden Power Dark if they're not Spadef. Um, so, if, with some predicting, I think the Specs Hidden Power Dark is going to do a lot of damage to people. And it was not just them. Some people tend to switch in random Psychic types on Sylveon for some reason. So probably catch like a Starmie or um, even normal Hoopa if people are running that for some reason. Gengar thinks it was gonna come in. I don't know. That was stupid. No one would switch a Gengar into this, but or Alakazam or something like that. HP Dark to the face. But as you'll see, we're gonna go ahead and get our look for our first battle here. And see how good this team does. Like I said though, shouldn't be too bad of a team. All right, so my opponent here, he's got uh, fucking obvious Healing Witch Latias. What I'm gonna assume is a Rocky Helmet Lando T, a normal superior set, maybe sub comma or not sub, maybe the sub glare set maybe, and probably Scarf, Keldeo, maybe Specs. Um, it's obviously Megalopunny, and that might be a Pursuit Trap Tyranitar. Not really 100% sure, but we are gonna go ahead and I think I led with my own Megalopunny. I wasn't. I'm not. I don't remember. Either led with that or Keldeo. Either one of those two would have been my lead for this guy. Let's see what I led with. I probably could have just watched this video on the side, like before I recorded and took notes, but that's stupid. Cause I want to see if I would have made the same plays. Okay, so I led with Sylveon for some reason, and obviously I'm not gonna keep Sylveon in on a Megalopunny, cause that Fake Out's gonna come, and then I would put it in a two-hit kill range between Fake Out and Frustrate, or in Return is what a lot of people run. But same thing as Frustration. So I switch in the Mega Scissor to take the Fake Out. Takes it quite well. And then I actually double switch in the Kyurem Black here. I know that because I thought about it. I already knew that was my best play even before it happened. Because I knew Lando T would probably come out, and it does. And what I actually do is I'm not going to go for the Ice Beam because I'm actually going to predict him to switch into Tyranitar. But on the off chance that he did stay in, I mean, Outrage is still going to do a hell of a lot to Landorus, even if it stays in. And Stone Edge does not kill unless it's banded, and more than likely isn't. So I will go ahead and I go for the Outrage, as you'll see in this turn. And then he does switch into the Tyranitar. It gets blown the fuck back into the next dimension by that Outrage. Kyurem Black's angry and does not give a fuck. So what I'm doing here is he can stay in or he can switch. If he didn't feel the need to keep T-Tar, then that was fine. But if I was him, I would have switched into Lando T, got the drop, and took the hit. Because I did get the two-turn Outrage, which is what I was hoping for. I mean, I know that's a little luck, but I was hoping for that. I'm actually going to switch into my own Keldeo to take whatever he wants. He goes for Secret Sword. It does way too fucking much. And he reveals that he's Life Orb. So at this point in time, I'm pretty sure I'd sack this Keldeo because I don't want anything else to take damage on my team. And Secret Sword's still going to do a nice chunk to Sylveon, and I don't want Sylveon to take any damage right now because Sylveon kind of just checks the fuck out of his Keldeo as well as his Latias. And for some reason he switches and he catches the Icy Wind to the face. And I did go for the Icy Wind in case I was faster, and I did want to speed drop the Keldeo so that Superior, or not Superior, so I could possibly switch into Scissor and SD. I was going to go for game, even though that was, in hindsight, that's a bad play. But I do decide to keep my Keldeo here, and I go right into my Scissor to take that Leaf Storm. I am just going to go for the Bullet Punch here, assuming that he doesn't want to save this, because he hasn't really been saving his Mons. Keldeo was the first one he saved. He sacked Tar, and so I figured he wouldn't switch out. So Latias comes in, and I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure this thing's HP fire, but he could be bluffing the HP fire, trying to catch a Draco or a side shock on something. But I don't want to risk it, and I switch into Sylveon, and he doubles into Keldeo, and Sylveon's gonna take that whatever this thing has to offer. So I'm just gonna fire off a Hyper Voice because it's gonna kill something. And I don't know if this was a roll. I'm not 100% sure. Um, but it did do a hell of. It did way too much to Lando. Um, so it definitely isn't Spadef or is not vested. And Sylveon does finish off this Landers. And Keldeo, I'm pretty sure I sack Sylveon here as there's no need to keep Sylveon. Even though it does check his Latias, it doesn't matter. And he reveals Poison Jab, which is weird as fuck, to be honest. But I guess there's a lot of fairy types in low ladder or something, or a lot of Sylveons. I don't really know why you would put Poison Jab on Keldeo than for, like, maybe Clefable. But defensive Clefable doesn't die to a Poison Jab from Keldeo. And obviously my opponent is just, he gives up. Because, Scarf Karen Black kills the rest of his team. Even if he gets the fake out on, I just throw something else in like Scissor to, take the return from his low punny. It was a good game. Um, so here's this like UU team with fucking Superior and what I assume to be a Zard Y. And I only assume it's a Zard Y because it doesn't make sense to run two physical um, fire Pokemon on the same team if you're running dual fire anyways. The same with the dual dark. I'm assuming a Zorak special because Umbreons are usually physical with like foul play and curse or something like that. And he's got a Garvantula. I'm pretty sure that's his lead, or I assumed it would be his lead due to sticky web and whatnot. So expecting his Garvantula, I'm pretty sure I lead with my Mega Lopunny to get the fake out in the free Mega Evo because actually it has a really great matchup against all of his team. Um, Even if that's a Zard Y, it's a great matchup against that. So pretty sure I lead with Lopunny. Yeah. I'm gonna obviously Mega Fake out. And it's gonna do. It did a solid 33% here, so it's looking like Frustration's a kill, which it should be. And I do go for the Frustration. It does take out the Zard Y. I don't know why he stayed in. He goes Serp. I'm not sure what kind of Serp this is because he did just bring it down on low punny. So what I'm thinking is it's like Glare substitute, with like Hidden Power Fire or something, and or D-Pulse and Dragon Pulse and possibly anything random. A lot of these guys carry weird shit. And so what I did here is I went for the Bug Bite, trying to catch anything that might switch, but he reveals the HP Fire, which I should have guessed. He does have the Sun Up, and I guess people run HP Fire even though they already have two other fucking Fire types on their team. I don't really see the point. But I'm going to go for the Fake Out here. It does 27. I'm not really sure if that's a kill. So I do go for the Frustration as it is going to be stronger than Ice Punch by a little bit. And he does live. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if that was a roll. But that sucks and that's really unfortunate. And then I make a misplay here. I'm pretty sure I misplayed here. I don't remember. Okay, yeah. That was. I'm sorry. I was thinking of that play. That play was the misplay. I shouldn't have went Keldeo. I should have went Karen Black, and I should have just fired off the Ice Beam. Um, because I'm pretty sure Karen Black lives anything that it wants to do, and it does kill. So now I either switch out, and I do switch in the Keldeo. He goes for the Flare Blitz. Keldeo kind of eats that shit up, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and use Scald here. Because it's just one of the best moves in the game, and obviously I'm attacking what's in my face at this point. I'm going to stay in Um, and Keldeo takes that grass knot fairly well. I mean, I figured it would be a special Zorak, which it was, and Keldeo took that and killed it with the secret sword. And at this point, he leaves because he can't win. Um, so I do. We're gonna search for another game, and then we get this guy whose team is really hard for me to read. Honestly, initially I thought that was a. I was thinking he might be running like dual scarfs because he's got what I'm gonna assume is Mode Breaker, Excadrill, and Victini is usually Scarf. That's probably Life Orb, Bisharp. I'm pretty certain that's a Sash Mammo, and that's a Healing Wish Latias, and probably a Belly Drum Azumarill. And looking at his team, I'm pretty sure I lead with Keldeo, just because it has a fair matchup against. Oh, I take that back. I led with Lopunny. In hindsight, I probably should have led with Keldeo because I thinking that's what I wanted to do, but I do. I don't know what he means by that, but I'm just gonna get fake out, get the mega off, as Lopunny actually has a really solid matchup against his team, and I'm pretty sure I was switched in the scissor here because there's no way in hell I'm leaving Keldeo in or leaving Lopunny in against this fucking monster. And that did so much that I swear that this is a choice banded Azumarill. It like can't be anything but a choice banded Azumarill. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna predict the Victini to come in for some reason. I'm gonna go for the knock. I guess he was expecting me to BP or Sword Stance, and that's unfortunate that the attack drop is pretty much the only reason that this Victini lives. But I am gonna switch out here. Seeing as if he V creates, I don't want anything to take that at all, or at least Scissor to take that. Making Keldeo my only real switch into this thing. Granted, he could have like Zen Headbutt or something, but he ends up switching, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool. You switch. That's awesome. So I'm just gonna fire off a Secret Sword here because it kills this thing unless it's like scarfed. And he ends up going to Azumarill. Azumarill takes a little bit. He dropped down to 50, and I'm obviously not gonna leave Keldeo in. Because I'm not. I tend to play safe. If I was real, I would go for the Scald here, but Keldeo does too much against the rest of his team for me to sacrifice it. So he catches me on the switch. He goes for the Waterfall. And I probably should have switched into Superior to take that, and then I could have got off a free Leaf Storm, but I'd rather Superior not take damage. So I do switch it in here, and I do go for the Leaf Storm. And that's a dead Azumarill, and I'm at +2. So obviously, I guess he thought I didn't have anything to hit Victini with. I'm gonna deep pulse here, kill that thing. His next play and his best play is Mammo um, for the ice move, but I do carry the Giga Drain, which is what I should have went for, expecting the shard. And because I do go for the Leaf Storm and it does miss, and I was kind of like, wow, if it can't happen, it will happen. And I'm pretty sure he switched that thing in because it is sashed, which had me thinking maybe I should have ran Hazard Control on this team, just because. But it's fine. I am gonna go for the Scald here because even if Mammo stays in, it's gonna be down to its sash. If he switches out, I'm get the chance to burn something, and he does switch out. He goes into Latias, and Latias is gonna get burned on this turn. And I was like, fuck yeah, it's a burnt ass Latias. Um, and so I'm gonna go into Sylveon because it checks the fuck out of this thing, like utterly and completely checks the fuck out of it. And he calm minds, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't give a shit. So I'm firing off that Hyper Voice because it kills even a +1 Spadef. Like, like I don't even care. Like, Hyper Voice destroys this man. So, excuse me. But yeah. So So Sylveon got a kill, which is good. Would have been useless had I not bought it and not done anything. And I think every single Pokemon on this team has gotten a kill throughout these battles that I've had, which is pretty cool to put a team together and it actually works. And yeah, I do sacrifice Sylveon as there's no need to keep Sylveon since the rest of his team completely obliterate Sylveon. There's no point in switching. I'm gonna go Kieran Black here, and I know Kieran Black can live the Iron Hit. I know he thinks that for some reason that he can beat Kieran Black, so I go for the Earth Power, getting off as much damage as I can. And Kieran Black obviously eats the fuck out of that Iron Head, and so I'm free to spam Earth Power. And Mammoth is good, his best play, kinda to an extent. He's got the option to sacrifice his Sash, um, and to kill this thing with a shard or have force me to switch. But he actually, this opponent makes the questionable play, and he goes in the Bisharp, which actually at +2 Sucker Punch would do a lot to a lot of my team. Um, and I'm pretty sure that crit mattered, which is unfortunate. But I'm gonna switch out and save this thing because it beats Excadrill 1v1. So I'm gonna switch into Keldeo to take whatever the hell this guy wants to do, which was the shard, which is the smart play. Um, oops, excuse that. I'm sorry. So he ends up going for rocks, and I was thinking to myself that that was actually a really smart play because now Kiram can't come in, which pretty much means he has to lock himself into EQ. Um, but thinking about it, there's nothing he could actually do, even if he had killed this Keldeo, because Lopunny could have just. I would have switched Lopunny in. I would have done the fake out, and I'm pretty sure fake out is good for um, at least half that damage that that thing was down to. And then I could have switched in, sacrificed Kyurem, and then switched Keldeo or switched Lopunny back in, did another fake out, then switched in and sacrificed Superior, and then switched back in and did another fake out. That should have been enough damage to win the game. But here's this guy. His team's really interesting, and I actually end up forfeiting, as you'll see. Because this guy, I got some luck, and then he had immediate justice luck, but his luck was more severe than mine. And then he made a really bad play that just worked in his favor, only because of luck that it worked in his favor. So, as you'll see, um, but I'm pretty sure that's a Sash, Zam, probably a Lefties, Tran, Scarf, Lando, um, Poison Hill, Breloom, and probably Mega Scissor, and then Kyurem. I don't know. So I was gonna go for the IC win, which would have killed Breloom, but he goes with a Spore, and I was like, what the fuck? When obviously most people would have switched into Superior or something. But what that did was that really fucked up the game that I was gonna play completely. It completely fucked up everything. Cause Sleep Keldeo, like that Keldeo is a win con against his team for the most part, as it 1v1 beats Heatran, 1v1 beats Lando, and it possibly beats his Scissor. The problem is Keldeo Sleep. It just took a Fire Blast to the face. It didn't take it very well. I do stay asleep, so now I'm forced to switch out. And the only thing I have that can switch into the Zam is either Serp or Sylveon. And I have to make a decision on which one of them I want to switch into. I could have went Kyurem, but I didn't. I don't want Kyurem to take any damage. And he goes for the sub. So I sit there and I'm like, okay, that's good. Sylveon was the right play because he subbed. And I should have thought about that. And then I Hyper Voice here, and it does a lot to the Scissor. Now, he makes a questionable but good play, and he actually roost here after the Mega Evolve. And thinking about it, I'm not 100% sure if I made the right choice by going into um, my scissor, I probably should have went into my superior, took the BP if he was gonna go for it for damage, and just went off and shot off the hidden power fire. Now I calc this. Um, this was the bit of luck that really sucked for the opponent, or for me, I mean. That pretty much gave him the game. Because Keldeo sleep. Um, and I don't think it would have took a plus 4 BP anyways, but I did calc that, and um, I think I did it all in the video, but I calc it, and that bug bite, even at was it plus 4, was not a kill. Or did I miscalc and only go plus 3? I think I went plus 4. I'm pretty sure that crit mattered though. Assuming he was bulky. I don't know. Maybe it didn't. Maybe that crit didn't matter. I have to watch this. I think I miscalced. And actually, I wasn't even 252. I was 248. But I mean, that really actually doesn't matter. Um, what matters though is whether if not he was full attack invested or if he wasn't. That matters, and his nature too. Um, yeah, so I did calc plus 4, but that was impish only um, with only 84 attack. If he was impish, it only did 75 at plus 4. So I went ahead and went max attack, but I didn't change the nature because it doesn't matter because it's still a positive nature and it doesn't kill, as you could see. It doesn't do the 91% no matter what, which means my scissor would have lived and killed his scissor with the knockoff, and it probably would have been a double down, which would have given me the chance to take over the game with Kieran Black with scissor down. But that couldn't happen because he got a crit, and that pretty much gave him the game. But what I'm actually going to do, I led with my Galopani. I went for the fake out just to scout damage to see if he'd stay in. For some reason, he stayed in, which is fine. I do go for the obvious Ice Punch um, in case he did want to stay in and take that. And Lopunny, this is the reason why I want to say the reason why I would run a Drain Punch is because it's recovery for otherwise, you know, like, I mean, high jump kick probably would have, if I had predicted the Ferrothorn, that's fine. And I did predict the fact that he would be a T-Wave. Looking at my team, the only Pokemon that I was okay with being paralyzed was Superior. And he makes the hella bad play. And he switches in the Landorus for some reason. Um, and then he gets the crit on the U-turn, which really kind of sucks for me, kind of. But he goes in a Zard, and I figured he would switch into Zard. I was thinking it was Zard Y. But it turns out that Zard X, and he goes for the Roost, praying for Para, and he doesn't get it, and that's a dead Zard. Um, I said it then, I'll say it now. I don't agree with that play at all. When something's at 1% HP and it's paralyzed, yeah, luck says do something, but if they reveal that they have something that can kill you, you don't stay in. I also don't agree with that play. He could have gotten his rocks up after he took out Superior. That was not something to sacrifice like the two most threatening Pokemon on your team. You sacrifice them to a Superior with 1% HP because you are hoping for luck. But it is what it is. People make plays, so you deal with the consequences. And I'm gonna go Sylveon. Um, I'm just gonna go for the Hidden Power Dark in case he wants to switch into Ferrothorn, as I know Sylveon can sponge anything from this, and HP Dark is gonna be enough to take that out. And at this point, I don't need Sylveon anymore. It's done its job, so I'm just gonna attack what's in my face, as it's the overall best play. And I'm gonna go Kyurem here because I guess he assumed. I guess a lot of people don't assume that people run Scarf Curum anymore for some reason, but I am gonna go ahead and just Ice Beam it in case he switches into Ferrothorn. At least it'll still do a lot. And I'm gonna switch into Scissor. I already know if you Hyper Voice it, it's gonna do a lot, but oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I thought about it and I realized that it didn't make sense to have Scissor take any unnecessary damage. Is what I would. That's exactly. So what I do here is a questionable, stupid play. I really shouldn't have done this because I should have known he could switch into Pharaoh. And I thought about it, and I didn't want Keldeo paralyzed. For some reason, I thought it would. It was my like. It was my win con for the Secret Sword, but I'm actually just gonna stay in with Scissor and go for the Bug Bite, because that does a shit ton of Ferrothorn. And he goes for this Leech Seed, which, I mean, I haven't played against Ferrothorns in a while for whatever reason, so I wasn't even thinking about the fact that it could be like, if it's T-Wave, it's utility, so it probably had Seeds, and it turns out to be a Spiker as well. So I do go right into Keldeo, and I am going to go for the Secret Sword. I'm going to get rid of this Ferrothorn. To be honest, if he had a, I guess he realized that, I mean, I can't really touch his Sylveon, so Sylveon versus Keldeo. I know Keldeo doesn't live anything Sylveon has to offer, and he's lefties. Um, and I wasn't really sure what kind of set he was running. Um, but he actually had the advantage at the end of this battle. I have Pokemon that are completely weak to the Sylveon, and I went for the Scald for the burn. Um, when Hydro Pump was probably the better play for damage, or maybe even Secret Sword. I think Secret Sword would have done a little bit more than Scald, assuming he's like some kind of Spadef invested. It looks like he's max HP, max attack, but with a Spadef nature. So I'm sitting here like, well, fuck. He's got Protect, and he's got Wish. He turns out to be like a Wish Protect set, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is bad. All I have is Scissor. He kind of honestly Protect stalled me until I paired, and then he would have won. Um, but we double down, and I do get the win because I killed him first. That's how the game calcs stuff. Um, but that's some pretty crazy battles for low ladder. It's just when you're down here, it's hard to. I play safe when I'm down here. I don't predict. So that's that. But again, if you guys like enjoy this content and you like my videos, you like watching it, I mean, you guys can go ahead and drop a like on the like button so I know. God. And if this is something that you guys want to see, I mean, this series is pretty early on in my YouTube career, I guess you could say, if I wanted to make it that. But, you know, if you want to see more of this content, just subscribe, honestly. I mean, Cyber Sunday is going to be a thing. I'm going to start a new, like, what the fuck just happened Wednesday? Like, holy shit, this is a throwback Thursday. I don't know. I'm going to start doing more Pokemon series. I do have other content, but, you know, watch my stuff. And until next time, see ya!